everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled lesson of Tenipo의 Actual Speaking. Today it is time for lesson 41, so are you ready for it? Now you may have already guessed, but today's topic is social sense. You may wonder, what is social sense? Simply put, in Korean it is 눈치, right? We often say 센스가 있다, 없다, right? But in English you would probably say to be insensible, which means to be unconscious of what is happening around you, or sensible meaning having that kind of awareness or sense. In other words, being conscious of what is happening around you. So social sense or having social sense means having awareness. Are you sensible or insensible? You know, sometimes you may walk into a room, a party, a gathering anywhere, and you get that strong feeling of negative vibes or even positive vibes. Sometimes you may even go to a party and feel that something is wrong and you just want to turn around and leave. But then again, sometimes you can sense that something good is happening, right? You can get that hint or clue, and that's right. Without even listening to what the other person has to say, you sense that he or she is having a good day or a bad day. Well, this may sound confusing to you, everyone, but do not worry because, simply put, we'll be talking about social sense, once again, 눈치, and being sensible or insensible. Are you ready? Let's get started then. Welcome back, everyone. Are you ready to get started? I hope you are. It's going to be a fun lesson, so, well, listen up. Let's begin with our warm-up segment. As always, with the 5 W's and how, we'll be asking ourselves these questions. So these are our cues. Brainstorming cues. The first W question is, as always, who? So let's try asking ourselves this question. Now, we are talking about social sense once again, 눈치 in Korean. So, are you a sensible or insensible type of person? Now, I did explain to you in the beginning, sensible or insensible. So once again, if you are a sensible person, it means that you are aware of your surroundings, okay? You are conscious. You know what is happening around you. You pick up on hints and clues very easily. 센스가 있다 라고 생각하시면 되고요. And insensible is the opposite. So you are unconscious, normally unaware of what is happening around you. So which of the two types are you? Okay? And then let's move on to our next who question. Are you the type that is aware of what is happening in your surroundings? So this question is very similar to the first question. So basically, this is another way of asking, are you a sensible person? Okay? Do you pick up on things very easily? Are you the type that is generally aware of the reactions of people around you? Now, first of all, the second question was a question about your surroundings, okay? The general atmosphere. But then again, this question is focused on what? The reactions of people around you. So are you aware of how people are feeling, what they say, or perhaps they may use body gestures like gestures, hand gestures. Are you aware of those things? Are you aware of people's reactions? Moving on to what? What kinds of vibes or emotions make you feel most uncomfortable? That's right. You may walk into a room or a meeting, any place, and you somehow feel very uncomfortable, right? Sometimes that happens. So what kind of vibes or emotions? A vibe is kind of a feeling. It's that strange feeling that you get sometime, okay? So vibe or emotions. What kinds of these vibes or emotions make you feel awkward or uncomfortable? Moving on, what do you do when you somehow feel that you're not welcome somewhere? So let's focus on this. You are not welcome somewhere. You may walk into a room or a party and sometimes you feel like you are left out. You may feel, do I fit in here? Should I not have come here? So, yeah, what do you do in those situations? And also, what kinds of emotions or vibes, once again, do you pick up on most easily. So when it comes to vibes, as I explained to you, it's those feelings, those strange feelings, emotions, right? So you can pick up on good vibes or bad vibes, but pick up on something means to recognize something or quickly notice something. Okay, moving on to what makes you think that you have a good sense of situations. Simply put, what makes you think that you are sensible? What makes you think that you pick up on these vibes easily? Moving on. Now, when was the time you left a place or friends, okay? A place or friends just because something did not feel right. So, once again, I'm going to give you a situation. You walk into a room full of people. They may be people that you know or people that you don't know, but when was it that you walked in and you said, maybe I shouldn't be here. I want to leave because you felt something was wrong. So when was it that you actually left a place or left friends because something didn't feel right? Another one, where was it that you decided to leave because you didn't feel welcomed? It's a very similar question. Now practice asking yourself these 5 W questions and how. Moving on to why. Why do you think you are good or bad or poor at sensing moods and atmospheres? So this would be a question for all of you that think that you are insensible. You are kind of unconscious or unaware of your surroundings. So why do you think you are good or poor, meaning bad, at sensing those things? Another one, let's move on to our final category, how. How do your friends or family know when you're in a bad mood? So what do you do? Say, for example, you may not tell them that you are in a bad mood. You may be quiet. You may try not to show it, but how do they sense that you are having a bad day or in a bad mood? Also, how do you sense? Sense here is used as a verb, okay? So how do you feel? How do you notice that someone is feeling good or bad? And also, how quick are you in sensing negative vibes? So focus on how quick you are, okay? How sensible you are. And finally, on to our last, how do you deal with situations where you sense something wrong? Now, in this question, yes, focus on how you deal with these situations. And here is our last how question. How would you grade your sensibility on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. So once again, this may be a question for all of you. You would be sensible or insensible, but where would you grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? For example, if you are very insensible, you really don't pick up on those vibes or hints or clues, then you would be somewhere between 1, 2, and 3. But if you're very, very sensible, meaning very sensitive to moods or vibes, you pick up on things easily, you would probably be in the 8, 9, or 10 scale. Okay, that is all for today's brainstorming cues. Let's now move on to actual talk.
Rachel, have you ever gotten that sinking feeling that you're just not welcome somewhere?
You know, I have, especially in like new settings or when I'm meeting a new group of people.
Sometimes it can be awkward, yeah?
Yeah, but usually I can take a hint and I know when I'm not welcomed and I know when I am.
And you just get
Yeah,
out
I'll
of there?
either leave or I'll stay, but usually I think I'm very insightful in those situations.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to break the ice, especially with people that already know each other.
Right, exactly. What do
yeah.
you do in situations like that?
I just go the tactless way and start
Yeah.
shouting at people. What up? How you doing?
You kind of force them to like you or accept you?
Well, you can't force anybody to like you.
That's
and
true.
sometimes, you know, especially when I was younger, I was just very outgoing.
Okay.
And I would say whatever came to my mind. And, you know, always with good intentions.
Right.
But sometimes I rub people the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
So
Some
either
people
people would
didn't
really
appreciate
like
that.
me or really hate me.
Oh. What about now, though? Are you better at maybe thinking about what you have to say? As in, do you have more tact now? Not that you didn't when you were younger, but
Sure. I've slowed down a bit.
Okay.
I have a pretty good sense of situations,
Yeah.
and I try to use it a little bit more.
That's good.
I won't force myself into a situation that just isn't working.
Yeah. You kind of pick up those cues better now. You learn along the way, right?
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes.
Yeah. I think I'm a pretty caring person too, and I get these inklings on how people feel if they're having a bad day. I'm pretty quick at picking up on it, so I would say that I have a talent in that, maybe.
Well, that's good. Well, let's go out and see if we can use it.
Let's
Put
go.
it to good use, right?
All right, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Did you enjoy the actual talk between Peter and Rachel? So what did you find out about these two people? Are they sensible or insensible? Do they have social sense? Let's first of all talk about Peter. What do you think? I think back in the past, he wasn't very sensible. He used to, I guess, he was a bit slow on picking up on vibes, but now, as he's gotten older, he's much faster on picking up on those vibes, so he's more aware. Whereas Rachel, she seems to be a very, very aware person, and she has been from a long time ago. So let's take a look at the actual talk and take a look at the great expressions that they used. First of all, Peter asks Rachel, Rachel, have you ever gotten that sinking feeling that you're just not welcomed somewhere? What is a sinking feeling? For example, a boat can sink. A person can sink. Something can sink underwater. So say, for example, there is something like an object, and if it sinks, it's going down and down and down under. So he's asking, have you ever gotten that? Have you ever felt that sinking feeling before? A sinking feeling itself means a very, very uneasy feeling, a very strange or awkward feeling. It's not a good feeling, okay? So that is when you were not welcomed somewhere. You just felt like you shouldn't have been there or gone there. And then Rachel says, I have, especially in new settings. Settings here basically is atmosphere, okay, or environment, okay, or when I'm meeting a new group of people. That's totally normal, I think. So you may feel that you are not welcomed somewhere. Maybe you shouldn't have come, especially when you are in a new setting, a new environment, because you're not used to it, or when you're meeting a whole group of people you don't know, thus strangers. Okay, and he says, sometimes it could be awkward, yeah? Now, what is awkward? This word is kind of difficult to pronounce. It is pronounced awkward. Awkward. One more time. Awkward. It basically means uncomfortable. Sometimes it can even mean embarrassment, okay? So, if something feels awkward, it means that you are somehow feeling very uncomfortable. Moving on, Rachel says, yeah, but usually I can take a hint. Take a hint meaning you are quick at noticing things, okay? If you get a hint or a clue, you're fast. You feel it very fast, meaning you are sensible. And I know when I'm not welcome, and I know when I am, meaning when I am welcome somewhere. So he says, well, I guess when you feel that you are not welcome, you just get out of there, meaning leave the place. And what did Rachel say? She said, I'll either leave or I'll stay. But usually I think I'm very insightful in those situations. So insightful itself meaning very perceptive. You notice things very quickly. You are quick at noticing things, okay? So you're perceptive. And then moving on, he says, sometimes it's hard to break the ice. You know this expression, right? Break the ice. It doesn't mean to break the ice literally, but it means to, I guess, walk into a certain place, and if it somehow feels uncomfortable or you feel uneasy, well, you may break the ice by maybe starting a conversation. So to break the ice means to try to make an uneasy or uncomfortable situation a bit more comfortable. Okay, so you're trying to make it more relaxing. Moving on. Now, Rachel asks, what do you do in situations like that? And Peter says, I just go the tactless way and start shouting at people, what up? How you doing? Okay, this is, of course, how are you doing? But this is just, I guess, a very casual way of saying, how are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How are you doing? Okay, so he says he goes the tactless way. Tactless, tactless. You may not hear the T, but tactless means careless, thoughtless, inconsiderate. And the opposite would be tactful, which means you are very, very careful, you are thoughtful, okay, and perceptive. So he says, well, in those situations, awkward situations, I just go in, ignore things, ignore people, and say, hey, what up? How you doing? Okay? And then moving on, he says, but when I was younger, okay, I was very outgoing, and I'd say whatever came to my mind. Whatever came to my mind, meaning whatever he thought of instantly. So, whatever came to mind, he thinks of something and he says it, no matter what. And he says, always with good intentions. Okay, intention basically means a purpose or a goal or an aim at times. But usually when you do something with good intentions, you are doing it with a good purpose. Okay, you are doing it on purpose for good results, for the good, for the better. He says, but sometimes I rubbed people the wrong way. Now, this is an idiomatic expression, okay? Rub someone or somebody the wrong way. Rub someone the wrong way means to really, really annoy someone, to irritate someone, okay? So he says, so either people would really like me or really hate me because he rubbed people the wrong way. He would get on people's nerves. Moving on. What about now, though? She asks. Are you better at thinking about what you have to say? As in, do you have more tact now? Now, he said that he was tactless. He went the tactless way and just walked in, ignored whatever feeling he had and say, hey, how's it going, right? But he says, sure, I've slowed down a bit. Slowed down, not necessarily meaning the speed of something, but I guess in this sense here, he's talking about being a bit more relaxed, okay? And he says, I have a pretty good sense of situations. Having a good sense of situations means to be sensible. Having sense, picking up on things very fast. And he says, I try to use it a little bit more. Now he says, I won't force myself into a situation that just isn't working. So he's talking about now. Now, in the past, he would force himself, just walk in. But now he says, I will not force myself into a situation that just isn't working. And Rachel says, you kind of pick up those cues better now. So pick up on things means, of course, you can pick something up from the floor or a table. But here in this sense, it means to recognize, to notice, quickly notice, okay? And cues. What do? We have brainstorming cues, right? Cue or cues, they are basically hints, clues, ideas, all right? So he's better at picking up or noticing those hints or clues better now. You learn along the way. You learn as time passes. And he says, I get these inklings. What is an inkling? An inkling is also a feeling, a strong feeling of something, a quick feeling of something. So you catch up on things, you pick up on things very easily if you have an inkling. That feeling, okay, that hint on how people feel. If they're having a bad day, I'm pretty quick at picking up on it. We've had pick up on a lot in today's actual talk. So once again, to pick up on something means, in this situation, to recognize or to notice something. Okay, you're quick at noticing something, thus meaning you are very, very sensible. And that brings us to the end of Peter and Rachel's conversation. Let's take a listen to it one more time and also check out the subtitles.
Rachel, have you ever gotten that sinking feeling that you're just not welcome somewhere?
You know, I have, especially
Really?
in like new settings or when I'm meeting a new group of people.
Sometimes it can be awkward, yeah?
Yeah, but usually I can take a hint and I know when I'm not welcomed and I know when I am.
And you just get
Yeah,
out
I'll
of there?
either leave or I'll stay, but usually I think I'm very insightful in those situations.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to break the ice, especially with people that already know each other.
Right, exactly. What do
yeah.
you do in situations like that?
I just go the tactless way and start
Yeah.
shouting at people. What up? How you doing?
You kind of force them to like you or accept you.
Well, you can't force anybody to like you.
That's
and
true.
sometimes, especially when I was younger, I was just very outgoing.
Okay.
And I would say whatever came to my mind. And, always with good intentions.
Right.
But sometimes I rub people the wrong way.
Okay.
So
Some
either
people
people would
didn't
really
appreciate
like
that.
me or really hate me.
Oh. What about now, though? Are you better at maybe thinking about what you have to say? As in, do you have more tact now? Not that you didn't when you were younger, but
Sure. I've slowed down a bit.
Okay.
I have a pretty good sense of situations,
Yeah.
and I try to use it a little bit more.
that's good.
I won't force myself into a situation that just isn't working.
Yeah, you kind of pick up those cues better now. You learn along the way, right?
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes.
Yeah. I think I'm a pretty caring person too, and I get these inklings on how people feel if they're having a bad day. I'm pretty quick at picking up on it, so I would say that I have a talent in that maybe.
Well, that's good. Well, let's go out and see if we can use it.
Let's
Put it to
go.
good use, right?
All right, yeah.
Now it's time for us to take a look at today's actual talk expressions. Are you ready? So we are talking about social sense, 눈치, and of course we're focusing on people that are sensible and also insensible. So having a sense as to pick up on vibes, hints, clues, those emotions or feelings very quickly, whereas the opposite, if you are insensible, you are very slow at catching up on those things or picking up on those things. So first of all, let's begin with ways to talk about having a feeling about something. It can be a good feeling or a bad feeling. So say, for example, you somehow have this feeling that somebody is lying to you. 왠지 모르는데 거짓말을 하는 것 같아요. 그런 느낌이 온다. 그런 느낌이 느껴진다. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can say, I have an inkling. Once again, an inkling is like a hint, a feeling of something, right? That she's lying. I have an inkling that she's lying. I don't know for sure, but I somehow feel that she's lying. In that situation, try using I have an inkling that so-and-so. Moving on, I had an inkling. This is in the past, okay? I had an inkling that he was about to run. Now, tense is very important. In the first example, you are feeling it right now. I have an inkling that she is lying. And the second example is in the past. I had an inkling that he was about to run. He was about to go away. Run. Escape. Take a look at one more. My gut feeling tells me that John won't be coming today. So if you feel that somebody is not going to come today or that day for some reason, you can say, my gut feeling tells me that so-and-so. Now the word gut itself here is, I guess, a slang or an informal way of calling your stomach. It's your stomach. So if you say, my gut feeling, or I have a gut feeling, it's that feeling you get somehow, okay? So something tells me, my gut feeling tells me that John won't be coming today, okay? Or what about this? My gut feeling tells me that Sue is having a bad day. So when you somehow sense that somebody is having a bad day, you can say, my gut feeling tells me that so-and-so. Let's move on. Now, I have a funny feeling that something is bothering Jim today. Now, pay more attention to the beginning, okay? Now, up to here. I have a funny feeling. Now, just because you use the word funny, it's not a happy situation. Not always. If you say, I have a funny feeling, it is that strange feeling. That feeling you get somehow, okay? It's like a hint or a clue or a very vague idea. I have a funny feeling. I'm not sure, but somehow I feel that something is bothering Jim today. What about this? I have a feeling in my bones that my parents will say, over my dead body. Over my dead body is what? Now, this is also an idiomatic expression. I think the closest one in Korean would be 내 눈에 흙이 들어가도 절대 안 된다. Right. That in English you would say over my dead body, meaning never ever. No matter what, never. So, I have a feeling in my bones. You somehow feel it, okay? That so-and-so. Moving on. I have a hunch. A hunch is also that strange feeling of something, okay? It's like a hint or a guess, I guess, that they are going to throw me a surprise party. So once again, pay attention to the tense. I have a hunch that they are going to throw me a surprise party. Let's change this into a past situation. I, what? Once again, had a hunch that they were going to throw me a surprise party. So pay attention to the tense once again. I have a hunch that they are going to throw me a surprise party. And also in the past, you would say, I had a hunch that they were going to throw me a surprise party. Now, tense is very important, so practice that on your own as well. Now, next, ways to talk about being careful or mindful. It's very thoughtful, right? You are careful. We want it to be sensible and not overstay our welcome. Now here, what does overstay mean? Now, you can stay at a place. Say, for example, somebody invites you over to their house. They're having a housewarming party, for example, and you go over. And maybe it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's about time you should leave. But if you stay until 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 1 o'clock in the morning, you are overstaying your welcome. So you would be insensible. So you can say, we want it to be sensible and not overstay our welcome, meaning we want it to be sensible and leave early, not stay too long. Another one, I always try to behave tactfully. Remember, this was in our actual talk between Peter and Rachel. One more time. Now, in the dialogue, there was tactless. I just go the tactless way was what Peter said, but I told you the opposite of tactless is tactful, right? So you can say behave tactfully, meaning very thoughtfully, okay? Having a lot of thought and being very, very careful in front of my boss. I'm always walking on eggshells around Mr. Kim. Imagine the situation, eggshells. You've got eggs. Eggs have shells. Think about broken eggs on the floor and you're walking on those eggshells. It's not a very comfortable situation, right? So if you are very, very cautious, very careful, trying to be very perceptive, being very aware of what's happening around you, you would say walk on eggshells. 조심스럽다 느낌에 좀 가까워요. Okay? I'm always walking on eggshells around somebody, meaning I'm always very careful around somebody. Now also, ways to talk about being slow or fast at picking up on the cues. Now once again, pick up on in this situation means to notice. You notice something and the cues are what? Hints, clues, ideas. Okay? So, I dropped a hint. I dropped a hint meaning I gave somebody a hint. But no one seemed to pick up on it. They're very insensible people. They're not sensitive. I dropped a hint, but no one seemed to pick up on it. What about this? I don't understand how he could be so senseless. Senseless. This is being very insensible or clueless, having no idea. Mindless. Also not being very careful or thoughtful. Okay? So inconsiderate, I guess. Having not much thought. So if somebody is very slow, insensible, you give them a hint, but they don't understand. They don't pick up on it. You can say, I don't understand how he or she could be so senseless, clueless, mindless. Don't worry, I can take a hint. I wasn't born yesterday. This is just an interesting way, I guess a fun way of saying, hey, you know, I'm pretty sensible. I can take a hint, meaning pick up on hints very easily. I can take a hint. Don't worry, I wasn't born yesterday, meaning I know much more than you think I know, okay? Okay, now moving on to a few more. I pick up on people's vibes quite easily. A vibe is what, once again? Those emotions, okay? That feeling of, I guess, a negative or even positive feeling. Those hints, vibes. It's often used with an S, so keep that in mind. And also, I know things by instinct. I think the closest word in Korean would be 직감, okay? You know something by instinct. 뭔가 직감적으로 안다. Okay? In that case, you can say, I know things by instinct. Somehow, for some reason, somebody doesn't have to explain to you, but you somehow pick up on things very easily and you know things by instinct. You may even feel that somebody is lying to you. You may have a girlfriend or boyfriend that tells you, oh, I'm working right now, but you somehow have an instinct that he or she is out partying with friends, okay? In that case, you can say, I know things by instinct. Okay, and I guess that brings us to an end to today's actual talk expressions. Practice them on your own and make them yours. Welcome back, everyone. It is now time for our idiom attack. So, idiom. Now, guess what it is for today? I think there was a film that was called this as well, starring Bruce Willis, I believe. Yeah, it was Bruce Willis. It was a very interesting movie. Now, today's idiom is sixth sense. As we all know, we have 5 senses, right? We can smell, so we have all different senses. Taste, smell, and all those things. But this is something other than those 5 senses. Now, here is an example sentence. Try to guess what it means. My sixth sense told me that she was not where she said she was. So she told me she was at the library, but my sixth sense told me she was not at the library. Something told me. I somehow sensed it. Okay? Okay, so the definition of sixth sense in Korean is 육감, 직감. So keep that in mind. A way of sensing something, it's like an ability to know something without having someone explain it to you. Okay, here is another sample sentence. My sixth sense told me to leave my car at home. Sometimes you get that strange feeling. You're always going one way, or you take one specific road, but somehow you feel, maybe I should take a different road. Maybe I should take a bus to work today. Maybe I should stay home today. Okay? You get that sixth sense, that feeling. So that is today's idiom, sixth sense. Practice more on your own and hopefully you'll use it in the future.
Talk about how you generally behave socially. How good or poor are you at sensing moods and atmospheres in public?
I knew I am good at sensing people's mood or atmosphere. Actually, I am. I can feel easily, oh, he is feeling jealous now. I think I have to stop here. Or, oh, she is feeling sad now. I think I have to say something to her. But when I went to military service, it was totally different. The circumstance there was totally different compared with here society. So at first time, it was too difficult for me sensing moods or atmosphere there. There are too many stories that I cannot carry in here. But however, I don't think at that time experiences were useless. Even though I finished military service now, that experiences are helping me a lot.
And that was our actual interview for today's lesson. Also, as we may know, about social sense, 눈치. 조성환님, 고맙습니다. Thanks for the great interview. So what did he say? He said that he was pretty good at sensing things, so he is a sensible person. He's aware of the surroundings, right? He even talked about when he went to the army or served in the military and how situations were kind of different, but he's learned a lot and he can apply those things in life now. So let's check out the great points. What he mentioned, I thought it was wonderful that he gave an example of when he went to the army or served in the army. He said, when I went to military service, it was totally different. So he was talking about situation A and situation B. This is perfect, but just to give you some more ideas, you could also say, when I served in the military, and so on, okay? Or when you want to talk about serving in the military, you can also say, when I was drafted into military service. Okay, so once again, when I went to military service, when I served in the military, or when I was drafted into military service. These are some ways you can talk about serving in the military. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this one was an oopsie. I can feel easily, oh, he's feeling jealous now. I think I have to stop here. Now, of course, we do understand what he is talking about. I can feel easily. Now, what did we learn today? We talked about picking up on things easily, right? Being sensible, okay? Now, I can feel easily, we know, but there are different ways of expressing this. So he's saying, when he feels that somebody is feeling jealous, he says, I think I have to stop here. A better way of saying this would be, I can easily sense it. Sense something. Sense as in a verb means to notice something, right? Be responsive. So I can easily feel, no, it's okay, but I would say I can easily sense something. Sense it if someone is feeling jealous. Or you can say, if I sense that somebody is feeling jealous, I try to prevent him from feeling that way. Okay? All right, let's check out one more. So at first time, it was too difficult for me sensing moods or atmosphere there. Let's check it out. Now, this part, as you may know, sounds or looks kind of awkward, right? So at first time, maybe so at first sounds better. Now, it was too difficult for me sensing. Now, something seems to be wrong here. Let's check out how you could change this. So here we go. So at first, take out the time, okay? So at first, it was too difficult for me to sense, okay? To sense people's moods or the atmosphere. Difficult for me sensing moods, that is completely wrong. You should say, it's difficult for me to, and then verb, okay? Difficult for me to, verb. Easy for me to, verb. So keep that pattern in mind. Now, other than that, I think you did a wonderful job. So every one of you out there, if you tend to make the same mistakes, well, you know what not to do now. All right. Now, today's idiom was sixth sense, and many scientists believe that not only people but animals have a sixth sense too. Say, for example, think back to the tsunami that happened years and years ago. Oh, terrible. But the animals in the area, they somehow sensed something. They had a sixth sense, and they all started to act crazily, strangely. Birds would fly away 30 minutes or even an hour before the tsunami actually hit. For example, my dog, I'm sure she has a sixth sense too, because usually before a storm or before it actually rains, let's say 30 minutes before it even starts to rain, she hates rain. So she runs into the bathroom and she's afraid of rain, so she's shaking in the bathroom. Now, somehow you have that sixth sense. You feel something is wrong, although you may not know what is wrong. So if you somehow feel something, you can say you have a sixth sense for something. Anyhow, today we talked about social sense, being sensible, and also being insensible. So practice talking about this topic with your friends, or hopefully you now know what to say in an English interview about social sense. Okay, next time I'll be joining you with another interesting topic. It does have to do with some kind of sense. We'll be talking about eyesight, in other words, vision, so please do tune in for that. In the meantime, come to our homepage at www.ebse.co.kr and look forward to Newport Actual Speaking. Until then, everyone, take care, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.